you on, but you've not allowed us. There's a lot, Hannah, a whole lot. So when we tell you this is harmful to us, this hurts us when you do this, and you're basically telling us, well, and you have told us, you don't care. You're going to do it anyway. And you wonder why you've gotten so much negativity and ugliness thrown your way. And this is why we've tried to tell you this is cultural appropriation. What you're doing, we're not your costume, we're not your cosplay. These are our lives. Mm-hmm. This is our life, and it's not up to be mocked, to be duplicated, to be replicated, to be Hollywoodized. That's what we've been trying to tell you all this time. And you've not heard us. And then you get upset and you can't understand why we're so angry. Can you understand where I'm coming from now?
To some extent, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is it you're not understanding?
I guess the part of like, well, and so it's everyone has come at me, not just the Native community, the BIPOC, the POC community, white community, everybody, right? Mm-hmm. And there's been a few that I think have been nice or kind, respectful, like civil, I guess I would say. The majority just flat out just come out slamming, and they're just like so mean, and I'm like, so some of this is new to me. I'm glad that you're sharing this with me. Thank you. That I did not know, because I guess I'm thinking like, okay, well, here in the United States, I just kind of thought that, and that's where I'm learning something new. I did not know that you have to go to the government for.
No, the government forces us, honey. That's what I'm telling you. We don't have the same rights and privileges as you. We just don't. We don't. I have to carry a card that shows my tribe and my blood quantum.
Yeah, that seems messed up.
Okay, let me share this. Have you heard of the movie Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yes, a lot of people have been talking about it, but I haven't seen anything of it, so I don't know what it is.
That movie is about my people and members of my family. That's my tribe. That's my people. Okay.
Okay.
And I highly recommend reading the book and watching it. It's 3.5 hours long, and it's worth it. And that's just, and I need you to know, that's only my people's history. That's not all Native tribes. Not all Native tribes went through this. But this is a particular history about my people. There is so much that has not been said, that has not been taught. Things that have been what we call whitewashed.
Yeah.
Histories. Hannah, you say you have this appreciation and an admiration and a respect for us and who we are, but your actions are showing otherwise. And it's actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and again, I mean, you've had the Asian community reprimand you on this. You've had the Japanese community reprimand you on this. You've had the Black community, the African community, the Latino, we have Afro-Latinos, we have Afro-Indigenous, and all of our brothers and sisters from Chile, from Puerto Rico, from Mexico, Central America, South America, they're indigenous. They're ours. including Canada. They're ours. They belong to us. They're indigenous. They're native.
So can I share something else with you, or or maybe it's a question
Sure.
or a little addition to it. So I don't know if you know this part about me, but and this is still we still debate it, we still argue it, we still I don't know. So I've told everyone I claim to be, I don't know what percentage indigenous myself. Yes, I did the DNA test, got the results back. My husband did his as well, and it does not say that I'm any Native American or indigenous. There's nothing to trace that. And so I'm like, okay, so my mom and deceased grandpa on my, which would be my mom's deceased dad, and grandma, for as long as I can remember, would say like we have Native Americans, like they're connected to them, they're part of our family. The only time I've ever actually seen it, like any of that part of our family, was at a funeral for my deceased great grandmother, which would have been my grandfather's. They've both passed away. His mom. And so I'm like, okay, so I've been told all this my whole life. I don't know how many of my videos you maybe have seen. A lot. Okay. Probably all my Native American videos where I'm doing different things. There is the one where I explain about the rendezvous, my childhood, my grandpa. Yes, my decorations from Hobby Lobby. Different things like that. Talking about a dress I made back when. And it goes so deep. There's so much of like, okay, so I've gotten so much flack for, well, and everyone's saying like you can't wear costumes. We're not a costume. I'm like, that's not. I'm sorry that these are costumes, but I guess I've seen this beautiful regalia type of dress that's like $200. I'm like, I can't. I mean, I guess I could afford it if I saved up for it. So I'll ask them like, if I get the actual real dress clothes, is that okay? And they're like, no, that's not okay. And I'm like,
No, it's not.
well, so, but I'm part indigenous. That's what I'm trying to tell everyone. It's
Let
like,
me ask you this. Then let me ask you this.
okay.
What tribe are you? Who claims you? Who's your people?
So I've heard it's the Rosebud tribe, but I haven't really looked into it.
Stop. You can't claim indigeneity. You don't even know what tribe. Hold on. And I tell this to everybody, not just you. I've said this to everybody who has said this to me. They're like, oh, well, I don't know, but then you're not indigenous. You're not native. If you don't know who your people are, and what I mean by your people is your community. Your community. My people are Wajaji. They're Osage. That's my community. I know my people, and my people know me. I had the pleasure of being raised with my people, born and raised. I'm descended from 9 original Latis. I know my lines going back. I can tell you what clans, what bands, who they were. I can tell you all of that because I'm connected. So when I say, who's your people? You don't know. And you did your DNA, and your DNA showed European. Correct?
Mostly.
I watched it. You're European. You're European descent. There's no shame in that.
No,
There's nothing
yeah.
wrong with that. Okay? But I'm going to bring something else up.
Can you still hear me okay? The
Okay.
vent just came on, the heater.
I can hear you.
So, let me turn it off.
There's nothing wrong with the fact you're not native. It's not a society. It's not a club. This is who we are. These are our people. These are our homes, our families. They're not to be mocked. They're not to be replicated. We're not the costumes. We're not mascots.
So can I ask you another question?
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard this from countless people as well. That so many are offended, are hurt, like you've expressed to me yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So can I, or maybe they have, some of them have explained, or maybe you can answer this for yourself, but like when you say that it harms or it hurts, is it because of that you don't have the same privileges as other communities, other ethnicities, or like why?
I'm gonna go back to the adage that I gave you a little while ago. Would it hurt you or harm you if I disrespected your wishes as your child's mother and did what I wanted to do?
Oh, okay, I get that. Okay,
Do you
yes,
understand? It's that same feeling. It's that same adage. That's who we are. It's whether you realize it or not. When you do this, it is a ridicule. It is mocking. And we've had to deal with this not just our entire lives, but going generations back. Hannah, there was a point in time, it wasn't until 1978 we could even practice our own traditions and ways without fear of being arrested and put in prison. The Freedom of Religion Act changed that for us.
that's good.
Like I said, there's a lot you don't know.
Yeah,
We're not a society. We're not a social club. We're not the Boy Scouts. We're not the Girl Scouts. We're not the Bluebirds, anything like that. These are our lives. If there is a love and an admiration and a respect that you claim there is, then why don't you have that same love and admiration and respect for our feelings?
I guess that's because would this be true then for, I think what I'm hearing is everyone is saying, if I do respect, if I do love, if I do admire, if I care, all these good attributes, qualities, things, then I guess and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm hearing is then I have to do it, I guess, other people's way, which I get that analogy of like the mother and the baby and the milk, but I'm over here saying, and maybe we can agree to disagree. And here's another part of the DNA test said that I'm not Native American, right? And I'm like, okay, so, and then someone else pointed out like, well, maybe it's not, this gets complicated. Like, so since those Native Americans are in our family tree, I've met them once in my life way long ago. And I've heard that there's this skipping part that things get skipped for the next generation kind of a thing. So I still claim the Native American, but I have this cousin, my mom's third cousin. I procrastinated. I have her phone number. My mom was like, and my grandma was like, you could call her, and maybe we can agree to disagree.
No, Hannah, there's no agreeing to disagree, my dear. We are telling you, what you are doing to us is not respectful. It is not kind. And it hurts us. And again, you're wanting to find a reason. You're wanting to find a justification to still be able to do this and think we're going to be okay with it. Hannah, we're not.
So
because you don't know, hear me, you don't know our histories. You don't know our traumas. You don't know what we've been through. Hannah, you told a friend of mine, or you made a comment, there was no way my friend could be Native because she had blue eyes. My late sister had the hair, no. My late sister had hair that was kissed by the sun. She had the most beautiful milky white porcelain skin and the most beautiful emerald green eyes that made emeralds look like pieces of gravel. But she was Wajaji. Our people knew her, she knew them. She knew our language, our lineage, our traditions, our cultures, our ways. And see, that's another thing. Everyone thinks you have to look phenotypically Indian when you don't. Let me ask you this. Did you ever see Dances with Wolves?
Mm-mm.
You didn't watch that show, Dances with Wolves? Did you ever watch Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman?
Yes, I have the series actually. I watched some of it.
Cloud Dancing was my uncle.
Really?
Now, when you look at him and you look at me, who do you think is more native?
I mean, he might look more native, but I'm not saying that doesn't mean that you're not. I'm sure you are. Like, I mean, like
I'm
you said.
actually, if you go by blood quantum, I'm more native than my Uncle Larry was.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. You can't go by looks. See, we don't get a choice in genetics. We don't get a choice in that. And there's so much to our histories that you don't know. But the fact remains, when we tell you it hurts us when you do this, and you say you're going to do it anyway, it's like when you dress up like Matoaka. She was a little girl. Hold on. She was a little girl who was stolen from her people. She was brutalized. She was essayed by multiple men. And when she passed, they wouldn't even let her go back home to her people. They buried her in their church. And it's a tourist attraction. And we've asked you, why do you want to dress up like a little girl who was essayed, who was brutalized? You're looking at a Disney version, and Disney lied about her. And that's why we talk about harm that happens. And Hollywood has a lot to do with that. Yeah. We understand that. And this is why we ask you all, be better than your ancestors. Hannah, if you have a true love and admiration that you claim you do, then you'll respect our wishes, and you'll respect when we tell you, stop. It hurts. It hurts us when you do this. Because in others, you're giving permission to others to do the same thing. And it's such a disrespect. It is such a slap in our face. Can you understand that?
To some extent, yeah. But then here's another question. So to me, then that sounds like then that the Native community is gatekeeping? Like
Exactly. We do gatekeep. You're absolutely correct. At one point in time, my screen name said, Mama Bird the Comedian, Toxic Gatekeeper. You are 10,000% correct. We do gatekeep our cultures because they're private.
So
they are private. Our ceremonies, our traditions, our ways are not meant for everyone. And this goes back to what I told you, when each Native nation is its own culture. It's unique and it's beautiful. We're not a monolith. It doesn't mean it's meant for everyone. That's just a fact, Hannah. We don't make up the rules.
Well, who does then?
Life. We're protecting what we have left.
Well, I understand that, yeah.
Okay. And it's not to share. It's ours. It's ours, Hannah. And if you truly respect it, like you claim you do, and you admire it, then you'll stop hurting us the way you do. Because it's hurtful. It hurts us every single time. And you get people that retaliate back, calling you ugly names. Hannah, the Indian name that you've given yourself and your son, that's a disrespect.
Well, I don't mean it as like serious,
Well, we
and I
take
don't
our
mean it.
name serious because I gave you my Osage name in my introduction to you because there are names, Hannah.
Right, right.
Your name, Hannah, is important to you, isn't it?
Right.
Okay, our names are important to us, Hannah.
Yeah,
They
definitely.
matter to us.
Yeah. Do you guys like give yourselves names that are like separate from like a ceremony, like a nickname or something cute, something sweet, something fun, or I mean, maybe that's
When it comes to those traditional names, each native nation, each clan, each band is different. Again, we're not a monolith.
I mean, that's good. That's understandable. And you were so right about the yeah. There's so many tribes. You know, it's not just one culture, or like you said. Um, yeah. Um,
Just like Shaylee says, we are independent, sovereign nations.
Meaning like you run your own groups, or
I mean, our
government.
own tribal governments, yes. But do you know what my people had to do? We had to go back. In 1906, the United States Congress stripped us of our sovereignty, stripped us of our tribal constitution, stripped us of our rights, forced a blood quantum upon us, and forced upon us how we would govern our people. We had to literally go back before the United States Congress. And in 2005, they had to write a law to grant us just enough sovereignty. Just enough for us to be able to determine how we wanted to govern our own people.
Yeah.
Who we determined our members were and weren't. Hannah, there's a lot you don't know.
I agree.
Okay. There's a lot you don't know. And I can't tell you about every tribe because I'm not a part of every tribe. I'm Osage. I'm Wajaji. My son is Wajaji and absentee Shawnee. I can teach him all day long and have about being Wajaji, but I can't teach him about being absentee Shawnee because I'm not absentee Shawnee.
Yeah.
Those aren't my people. Those aren't my ways. Those are his father's people and his father's ways. We have a lot that are reconnecting and coming home to our homes, to our communities. They're coming home because they were stolen from us. Literally stolen from us. Can you imagine, Hannah, can you imagine your little boy when he turns 3 and somebody walking into your home, a government official, and says, he's coming with us. He's going to boarding school. And no, you can't stop it. You don't have a choice. And them taking him. Now, you used to live in Nebraska, correct? Imagine them taking him to Pennsylvania at the age of 3 to live in a boarding school.
That's horrible. That's wrong.
But that happened to us.
I'm sorry.
And many of our babies did not come home. They're buried. And beginning in 2021, over 10,000 remains were found in various unmarked graves at these boarding schools in Canada and here in the U.S. Hannah, I'm going to tell you again, these are our lives. What you are doing is harmful. It is cultural appropriation. It's very disrespectful. And that may not be the intent, but that's absolutely what it is. There's a lot. When you buy these things from Ultimate Party or from the Halloween store or Hobby Lobby, you're taking away from us.
But how? Like, isn't it giving light in a sense of like showing like, hey, this is a community. We're like in America, we I mean, I'm not dismissing the problems and the unfairness and
Let
injustice.
let me ask you this. How do I ask this? Would you dress up like blackface?
Meaning, like, cover my face in like black paint, cover.
To represent a member of the Black community. Would you do that and do an AI video?
I don't think I would take it that far, but I would dress up as them like I have.
You would dress up like them. All you're lacking is the blackface. That's how disrespectful it is. Would you buy a mask that did that?
Changing skin color, that I don't think I would do. Because it's not that it's, I don't think that it's wrong.
But again, this is why I'm talking to you respectfully. That's all you're lacking with what you do to us. And again, that may not be your intent, but you've had many. And Hannah, I know for a fact, since at least 2021, because I've tried talking to you in my other accounts in 2021 about this. Because when I saw your video, when you were talking about Matoaka, wearing the white hat and your brown kind of thin flannel type shirt, I guess kind of I can see it. And you were saying, I'm just going to do it anyway. Because I respect her. I admire Matoaka. I'm just going to do it anyway. And if you don't like it, oh well.
And with that one, I don't dress up as Matoaka anymore, or I've heard things now.
Last year you did, but okay. But look what you did with your child in front of teepees.
Yeah.
And you had what I call the feather duster, which got all this started.
Do you think it's an actual feather duster? Or it's not the real headdress, but I thought you thought I took a feather duster from my house and put it on his head. I'm like,
that was the equivalent. That was my point.
Oh,
that was my point. I was being very sarcastic at the time.
Oh, okay.
That was the point. That was equivalent to it. Oh, the fact remains. The fact remains. It's harmful, Hannah. It's not respecting us.
Well, and at the end of the day, that's where, maybe it's like, I wanted to have some confidence.
I'm telling you, as a Native woman, you hurt us every time. You hurt our feelings. You hurt our heart. You hurt us.
But I'm part Native too.
No, you're not, Hannah. You don't know your people. You don't know that for certain. You've been told that. You don't even know what nation. You cannot say for certain what nation, what people you are a part of. You aren't even trying to reconnect, even if you were. The fact remains, Hannah, you are doing harm. It's harmful. It's hurtful. It's mean. Though that may not be your intent, that is the impact. But that is the impact, Hannah.
Because of the gatekeeping, right?
Hannah, we have all told you, begged you, stop. We have tried to ridicule to get you to understand, to embarrass to get you to understand, because you wouldn't listen. You're not hearing me now. This is harmful, what you're doing to us. It hurts.
Okay, so the part of the harmful I'm getting is the Matoaka. I'm like, okay.
No, all of it, Hannah. All of it. You're not a part of these cultures, any of them.
But I
Hannah, you're not Native. You're not Chinese. You are not Japanese. You are not Black. You are not African. You are not Korean. You are none of these things. What you do when you showed your DNA, you want to dress up and do AI like from the Germanic period and from German people. Do that because you're German.
Okay.
That's understandable. Do that. That's a part of who you are.
Yeah.
You're not Native. You're not Black. You're not Chinese. You're not Asian. You're not African. You're insulting and being cruel, whether you realize it or not.
So do you think that
but the fact is, I'm telling you point blank, I can't get any plainer without being mean about it. And I'm not wanting to be mean because you're here tonight, and I'm hoping we're going to get to this understanding that you're going to stop doing this.
Well, I mean,
because you don't understand. You hurt us. You are basically ridiculing and not realizing it.
Because I'm dressing up as what I claim to be.
Yes. Yes.
So, and that's harmful because
when you turn around and you use, just like in your AI video about when you said we're going to represent the Asian, Chinese, and Japanese, two completely different cultures.
Right.
Okay. And then you're, thank you very much. No, Hannah. No. Hannah. No. That is so crossing lines and boundaries.
So everything on Netflix, every movie.
Hannah, you're not a Netflix star.
I could be. Hannah,
no. Why would you want to do that to harm people? It's harmful. It is hurtful.
To pretend to have a beautiful accent.
You said it right there. To pretend. Yes.
Well, yeah, the Asian I'm pretending. The Black
all of it, Hannah. All of it, sweetheart. All of it.
So it's
harmful. It is harmful. It hurts us. We've all told you this. Honey, no, there's no but. There is no but. Because when you say but and you're trying to justify it, you tell us our feelings, our emotions, our traumas, and what we have gone through don't matter, that you don't give a damn about any of that. And what we still go through to this day, you're going to imitate because that's what you want to do. That is the message you're sending, Hannah. That is the message that you're sending, is that you don't have to respect anybody's feelings.
Well, I thought I did when I stopped some of these things, though.
But you're still doing them, Hannah.
In other ways, yes.
Okay, it's still the same thing. But you're still committing the same. You're still committing the same harm just because you choose a different weapon.
But it's not a weapon.
It is, Hannah. It is.
So when you're enjoying my culture, what
is your culture, Hannah?
Like the glasses you're wearing, wasn't that from a European person that created those glasses?
Enjoying them? No, I don't enjoy them. And if I didn't have to have them, I wouldn't.
True. But you're using them and it's from someone.
I have no choice if I want to see.
Well, true. But my point is
that's not enjoying them. I have no choice.
Okay, what about music? What about food? What about furniture in your house? I'm sure
you don't think our people didn't know how to create food and furniture in our own homes?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm just wondering, do you enjoy or use anything from other cultures that are not
Are you talking about modernization as comparing to cultures? Because if we're going to talk about that, let's talk about that. Because I can actually give you details of where Southern Indigenous were more modernized than Europeans were. When we talk about plumbing, when we talk about apartments, when we talk about communal living, when we talk about the trade industry, I'm not saying that to be, I know my tone, how it can sound. If that's what you're wanting to talk about, well, we can go there too, and I can share that with you as well, because it is absolutely an archaeological proven fact of how these societies were when they were creating apartments long before they were created over in Europe. And again, plumbing, bathing, washing, cooking utensils, various foods, irrigation, gardening, cultivating. So that's not European culture.
Well, no, I mean, it's everyone's culture. Everyone's from
Everybody's is different. So again, what is your culture, Hannah?
So, well, and this is where it gets complicated. So I'm like, okay, so if we're going by the DNA test results and what I'm told, or my skin color, where I live, I'm like, well, okay, if we're going by blood quantum, I'm mostly German.
We don't go by blood quantum, dear, and you don't have to. Do you know why? Blood quantum is not forced upon anybody but Native and Indigenous people.
Yeah, that seems messed up.
Well, it's a fact, though. It is a fact.
So
We're
is that for
the
all?
only ones, and again, that have to prove pedigree by blood quantum.
So, and that's like here and now to speak, like for all?
Honey, to this very day. See, and again, Hannah, when I say you're causing more harm than good because you don't know. You've taken just a tiny little bit that you've seen in movies and on Disney, just like so many others have, and you're running with it.
And what is race with?
Harmful. It's harmful.
I guess I still don't see the harm, though.
But it is because it's not your culture, Hannah. These aren't your people. These aren't your traumas. Your families weren't, you know what? Your people were not sold into slavery or taken to Europe as slaves. Your people were not pillaged and raped and unalived and sold as sex slaves, chattel slaves. That didn't happen to your people. But you know what? It did ours. It absolutely did ours. The only trauma that we have in common is as women.
Yeah,
what is going on in society today against women and our rights because of patriarchy. That is a trauma that you and I share. But when we talk about historical traumas, when we talk about the true history, no, Hannah, no, my dear, no. And I'm not trying to play the oppression Olympics with you. I'm telling you facts. Hannah, no. Now, I'll be more than happy to educate you over time on the condition you stop this crap. I'll be happy. I will be so happy to work with you and help educate you and give you those receipts. I'll be happy to do that for you. If it's especially, and I know it would make you a better person. It would anybody. It absolutely would. On the condition you stop this crap. Because it is harmful and it hurts our heart. It hurts our feelings. And it's, Hannah, so many non-BIPOC people, non-POC people who have done this, have done it to ridicule and shame.
Yes, there are those that do. They, am I allowed to say the word?
Whether you realize it or not, you're doing the same thing.
I don't think so.
But you are. We're telling you, Hannah. We're telling you.
And I'm like, I'm not doing it.
But you are, Hannah. You're still doing it. The videos are still up. And you're still wanting to justify and give me an excuse as to why you can continue and go back to do that. Hannah, be better than your ancestors.
Well, aren't I kind of? I
No,
didn't do horrible things
not when you do this stuff. No, Hannah, you're not, my dear. You're not. You're absolutely not.
So should I just forget about Native people altogether? Never mention their name? Never, like, that's the, I feel like, unless
Yeah,
I'm
I
going,
didn't say do that, did I?
you're saying to stop, so I'm like, okay,
You're
so if I
exactly
stop,
right. I said to stop imitating. Stop buying that crap.
but isn't it,
No, it's not. I know what you're going to say. No, no, no,
what about my earrings?
no,
Not these
no,
ones.
no.
Did you see my Native American
No,
earrings
those
from
are not
Mexico?
Native American. Those are just dangly silver things. I see them.
No, not
Hannah,
these. Not these. The teepees? I
no,
posted the whole history.
no, no.
You're gonna diss on a Native American?
I'm going to diss on that. No, because Hannah, look at what you have done before. No, no, no.
Yeah, okay, well, let's
No,
disagree.
no, 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 Hannah. No, no.
Well, what are we supposed to do at the end of the live?
What we're going to do at the end of the live is I want you to really reflect. I've got people that do want to talk to you.
Yeah, but I have to go in 10 minutes.
Well, I'm going to let them come up. And I need you to hear them because you've hurt their hearts. You've hurt their feelings. You got an opportunity to make things right. Hannah, be the bigger person.
But we
You
can't.
did this. You came here tonight.
Yeah, I did. Uh-huh.
You
And
showed
it's been great.
accountability. Okay. But your words and your actions have brought a lot of harm, and you have an opportunity to make it right and to be held accountable and to stop acting that way and to hear them, because you're just hearing from me, but you need to hear from them. I'm gonna let them up, and I just want you to hear them. And what I mean by that is this: hear, don't listen, don't think about what you're going to say next. I need you to hear them. Okay?
So I'm not supposed to talk during this?
Right. I need you to hear and pay attention.
Okay, well, I've got 8 more minutes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let them up.
So, okay. I am not Indigenous. So I do want to yield most of the time to other Indigenous creators, because it's hurt them, right? But I am Black, right? I am African American. One thing I do want to say real quick to you, Hannah, is I heard you say a lot in this live, but I don't see it that way. But I don't see it that way, that I'm hurting you, right? Everyone's saying, no, look, Hannah, you're hurting us. What you're doing is harmful and it's hurting us. You're like, I don't see it that way, right? But Hannah, if I say we all have had experiences in life, we may have had traumas, we may have had different things. We all come from different walks of life, right? Say me and you are friends, right? And we're hanging out, we're joking. I had some type of childhood trauma, right? You make a joke to me and it triggers me back to that time. And that hurt my feelings and it hurt me deeply, right? And I'm like, ooh, can we not make that joke anymore? Or can we not say that anymore? Because it's hurt me in the past. I've dealt through things in the past and my experiences with my childhood, with my family, with whoever it was, right? In my personal life, I've dealt with some stuff with that. Stuff that she won't ever be able to understand, but I've dealt with some stuff with that. Can we not say that anymore? But to you, you're like, but I say that all the time. Like that's nothing. I say that all the time, right? To you, it's not harmful because it's something that you said all the time. And to other people around, it may not be harmful. It may be something that's just normal, right? But it's not normalized for me because of the experience that has happened to me and because of my traumas that I've dealt with. So by that statement, and every time you make that statement or that phrase or say that, it brings me back and gives me back to that trigger. And it brings me back to that harmful, horrible place and time. And I tell you that as my friend, and I'm like, can you just not do that anymore? Can you just not say that anymore? And you're like, okay, I think you're being a bit much dramatic. Just calm down, bro. I'm still going to say it, Love you though. I love you and I care about you. We're friends. I love you. But yeah, I'm still gonna say it. Is that fair? Like, would you say that to a friend or a family member or a child or whoever that you truly care about? Would you say that to them, knowing that they're saying, I get it. Everyone says that you said it for a while. I get that, right? But when you say it, that brings me back to this time and place, and it hurts me every time I hear it. Would you continue to do it and say it?
Can I talk? Or
Yeah, go
should
ahead. I'm
No,
asking the question.
hold on. No, I want you to wait. Okay, Southern, thank you. I want to give Shay, because I know that Hannah's
Yeah,
got.
I'm dropping because I don't want like to her just to hear that. I want y'all to be able to speak. I just want you to think about that. That's what you're doing to them.
Thank you. I appreciate you, sister.
Ani Shay. Hi, Hannah. I don't know if you recognize my face or not, but we have had exchanges in the past. I'm going to ask you, and use a metaphor as well, as that's often how we do things. So say you worked really hard for your dream car. It's taken you years and years and years, and you're so excited, and you're finally going on your first ride. And then I come along, and I was just handed that vehicle as like my 16th birthday present. I did nothing for it, nothing at all. And I hit your car and completely smash it up. You get out, you're hurt, you're upset. And then you ask me, hey, could you not do that? Could you not drive like that? Look what you did to my vehicle. And I turn around and say, it doesn't matter how you feel. That is exactly what you have been doing to us for years now. You have taken something that you did not earn, that you did not fight for, that you did not save up for, that you did not lose family members over, that you just walked down to Hobby Lobby, thought it was cute, and bought it. That is what you are doing to us. There is a big difference because we have to earn our things. And we have had to earn our things for decades. We earn it through ceremony. We earn it through family. We earn it from community. And we have had to fight colonial governments to even exist. And you just want to be able to do whatever you want. No repercussions, no earning anything, while being hurtful and harmful. Do you understand that? Do you understand my metaphor with the car? How you had to work so tirelessly to get, and it is taken away in an instant by someone who didn't even have to bat an eye.
I have a response, but I don't think it's supposed to. I'm just let you guys talk, but I can see what you're saying.
Like, do you actually, though?
Well, kind of.
What part are you not understanding?
It kind of sounds like to me of like inheritance as an example as well. Like someone could be, they've inherited tons and tons of money and wealth versus someone has to work their tail off for it, and it seems like it's not fair. But if I were to come over and like, destroy that house because, kind of the same car analogy, I'm like, yeah, that's not right. That's not
You
fair.
just described the difference between being a person of color and white privilege.
Yeah.
I know. And you and I can have that conversation again at another time where I can break that down for you. But Shay, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. And Hannah, most of us, we all started kindly with you. We have tried to educate you gently. And you turned around and just continued with the disrespect of well, I just want to do it and I think it's cute and I bought it at the costume shop, so it's okay. It's not. And I don't understand why you are not understanding. That's the part that I don't get. You have heard us. You have been given history, and you still sit there and go, well, I want to agree to a disagree. Like, it does not seem like you have been actively listening to any of this. It does not feel, it seems like you're more engaged with me right now than you have been this entire live.
Well, that's interesting, but okay.
So with this, again, many of us are willing to educate you so that you stop doing harmful things. If you see them as harmful or not, see the smirk and the disengagement right there.
It's not a smirk, but okay.
It was a disagreement.
Okay,
You did
yeah,
not
I-
agree
I-
with the harmful thing.
Okay, all right. Let's stay on topic. Come on.
So we will educate you if you are willing to actually put in the work, because it seems like you're seeking and you're looking for something, and you've found this lore and this appreciation of our multiple cultures. But Hannah, it seems like you need to figure out who you actually are, and you need to do the reconnecting. We can help you with that if it's Indigenous or not.
Mhm.
That's the thing. You seem to be seeking. And for us, we're an easy target because everyone has stolen our identities. We're an easy freaking target to claim. But I think you need to put in that work to find out who you, Hannah, actually are.
I agree.
And the
And
thing
again,
is,
most of us are willing to help.
but not if you continue doing what you're doing.
Not if you continue to harm us. We cannot help someone who is willing to throw fire on our already soaked in gasoline bodies.
Shay, hold on 1 second. I'm going to go on mute. Big Mama Bird just hollered at me, so I'm going to step away just a moment. Hannah, if you have to leave before I can come back, thank you. We'll follow each other. Let's do this again, where we can talk. Okay.
Think about
All right,
it.
I'm gonna let Star speak. So thank you, Hannah. And again, I hope you're actively listening at this point.
Hi, Hannah. I know you don't have very much time, so can you please follow me back? Because I think we can have longer conversations as time goes on, but I know that babies need mom, and the mother-child bond is extremely important to me. So just to introduce myself, I have a degree in anthropology, and I can help you with that DNA exploration. Okay, so that's first of all, I can help you with that. And what I'd like to say about your cosplay is that it's dehumanizing. Like, whatever culture that you think you're celebrating, it is dehumanizing. And I know you don't quite understand. I can see that you're kind of quizzical, okay? And that is something that you might have to sink in over time as well. Okay, so I would like to just offer to speak with you over time, listen, help you find yourself so that you can move forward in a good way and celebrate who you really are. Because I have some European ancestors too, and maybe there's something really cool in your background that you could share with the world. And that would be really wonderful to celebrate that. And to stop with the cosplays that are dehumanizing, because it has a far-reaching effect that you don't even realize. And I know you don't. I know you don't realize that dressing up as Pocahontas is contributing to our women being murdered. And my reserve, pardon?
That's different. I agree. And I don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll very quickly tell you about my reserve is called Sagui. My family went to Fort Alexander School, and they did the radar testing. There were nearly 200 unmarked graves at that school. Okay, children should not die, and they shouldn't be buried at a school. And that's the kind of dehumanizing we've been coming from. And now Sagui, my res, has the highest rate of missing and murdered Indigenous women in the whole country. There are little girls being taken and ending up in the Red River. I tie ribbons on the rivers to remember them. They have their names. One of them is Tina Fontaine. She was 15 when she was exploited and tossed in the river, and she never got justice. And right now, in a garbage dump near me, it's called Prairie Green Landfill, there are at least three women murdered and in the garbage dump, and the government and the police have refused to look for them. They're still there. And we have been trying to find them. And that is the dehumanization. And it's not going to feel like it to you yet. I know it'll take time for it to sink in, but it's all connected. And I have spent so much time just trying to raise awareness of what's going on with us and how a little thing that you don't think is harmful. Pocahontas is one of the first well-documented missing child who was taken. And now she's a tourist attraction. Our women are taken and now they're in a garbage dump. It's the same dehumanization. And Hannah, I want to talk this out with you. I want to help you learn at your own pace. But the first thing you need to do is understand that when we say we're hurting, we're saying that we're hurting as people. And if you just care about people in general, take a moment, stop doing what you're doing, listen and walk through your journey with us. I'm willing to help you reconnect to your own people and celebrate who you are. I don't know all that much about Germany, but my stepfamily comes from Germany way back. Why don't we explore that? There's some pretty cool things about Germany. I know they have good food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you don't have to pretend to be someone else to celebrate people. You can celebrate yourself, and I'll celebrate you too, and I'll talk to you, and I'll teach you about my history as an Indigenous person. You would know me probably as Chippewa, but we go by Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Soto, lots of names. And it's a beautiful culture, and every feather that we have earned. Just like you would earn a medal in the military. If I just start doing things with feathers, it's like stolen valor. Right? And I can explain these things to you. There's so much opportunity to learn.
Not to mention it's against the law. We're the only race of people we're the only race of people that are allowed to have eagle and hawk feathers and certain feathers from birds of prey because of the Freedom of Religion Act.
Yeah. So it's pretty complicated. I know it's overwhelming to you. I know it is. But please follow me back. We could talk about this, and I'm very willing to help you with that DNA because that's where my education is. Like, I gotcha. You know? I'm here to support you in your learning.
I'm going to interrupt you just a second, Star. I shut the comments off for a moment because Hannah's actually hearing what we're saying in this panel, and I appreciate that. Going forward, we're going to see the actions. Now, I want you to understand, and I'm going to say something, and I don't want you to be offended by it. Don't take our kindness for forgiveness. I don't mean that. We're willing to help you as long as you're willing to do your part as well. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Everybody here in these comments or in this panel, we're being respectful and we're being kind and we're willing, because that's who we are as people. That's who we are as Native people. We're willing to share. We're willing to give. It's how we've been from the beginning of time. But we're not going to continue to give and share and educate if you're going to take it and run with it and continue the same actions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it's a conditional giving.
Well, it is. It absolutely is. Why are we going to give something to you if you're going to continue to do harmful things that hurt us.
And that can I ask another question? I do need to go. But this is something big to me. As I know we talk about the harm and the hurt and the offense, and I'm not discrediting anyone's feelings. Yes, there's a lot of people that say there are all these emotions and feelings and thoughts. And everyone is entitled to that. They absolutely are. But something I don't understand is when it seems like, and maybe it's not just to me, but anything that I have done, it's like, is it only triggering? Is it only about sadness and sorrow and grief and pain? Like, what about the beautiful sides of Native American culture? It's like, I feel like unless it's all just trauma, but I'm like, what
It's
about
not all just trauma. You're right. We have beautiful cultures. We have beautiful traditions, but they're ours.
And that's up to us to share. That's not for you to share.
Yeah, that's ours. That's ours, honey. I'm going to go back to using the example of your baby. What if you never wanted your child seen on the internet, and I had a picture of him and I decided to splatter it all over social media, tagging you, giving his name, all of that? That's a disrespect, because that's your baby.
But that's
It's your baby. That's your right to decide what you want for your child, right? Well, that same adage goes to us with our cultures, our traditions, and our ways, our clothes, our art, who we are as a people. Those are ours.
And that's where I'm going to respectfully disagree.
But you don't get a choice in it, honey, because you're not a part of our communities. We're willing to educate. We are willing to share that. But you have to meet us halfway and stop with these actions. You may not like it. You may not agree with it. But unfortunately, you don't get a choice in the matter, Hannah. If you want to be a better person, you respect our wishes. You respect our ways. You respect this is who we are. And you don't continue bringing harm and hurting us.
Well, maybe in response to that, is like, should we all gatekeep then? All ethnicities, all cultures?
But Hannah, you need to know what to gatekeep.
I do.
You don't even. So what's something of your culture?
The cell phone.
Like specifically?
That's
No. That's technology. That's not culture.
That's modernization. That's
Sensitive, though.
No, Hannah. What is a song from one of your cultures?
Can't think off the top of my head.
Do you know any of your traditionally cultural songs?
I don't.
So then how can you gatekeep something you don't know?
Because I'll learn it and then I gatekeep it.
Exactly. It's for you to enjoy. And how you say, like, with us, yes, we have a lot of sorrow. We have a lot of trauma. And we do have a lot of beautiful things within our diverse cultures. You get to celebrate that by enjoying it, by sharing it. But it's not yours to participate in.
Then what's the difference of enjoying versus participating?
So enjoying is watching. Enjoying is, if you are that interested, go to a powwow. Feel what it is like.
Hold on, Shay. Hold on. Let me break it down. Hannah, who's your favorite musician?
I have a few. Let's say Josh Groban.
Okay. Would you go to a Josh Groban concert and jump up on stage and start taking over the mic because you're Josh Groban's fan?
No.
And push him out of the way. I got this, and start singing all of his songs.
No.
Would you do that?
But if he invited me to come up there or said it was
didn't ask you that, but you're right. But
Yeah.
would you take it upon yourself to jump on that stage, push him out of the way, grab that mic, and start taking over his concert?
No.
Okay.
No, okay. I think you said something really important. You said, if I was invited. And I think that is a great point. Because if I invite you to a powwow with me, come with me. Wear a long skirt, take part in a round dance. That is actually open to everybody. That is a wonderful thing to celebrate. Then you can participate. Then you can be with us as a friend and not do any harm. You can celebrate that with us. Celebrating our culture. That's how you do it.
But it does not give you an open door to participate in everything.
Right, but what about with Josh Groban? What if I were to go get my own stage in my own
That
town?
would be yours.
Yeah. So,
But again, would you go to his concert and take over?
no. But I haven't gone to anyone's powwow. I haven't gone to your pages. I haven't
No,
taken.
what you've done.
Correct, but you haven't earned any of it.
Hang on, Shay, I got this. No, what you've done is worse. What you've done is worse, and you don't realize that it's worse. What you've done is you've gone and bought these quote unquote costumes, these jokes that ridicule,
Joe?
hear me out, these jokes that ridicule and berate our clothes that are so important to us. And you adorn them, and you get on this app and you make these videos and you dress your child that same way and you make up these end names that you've given yourself and you do this makeshift moving around.
Or dances, or try to
It's
learn.
not a dance. But the fact is, it's a ridicule and it's an insult and it's harmful and it's mean. And it hurts us because, again, you don't know anything about any of us. You don't know what our clothes mean to us. You don't know what our names mean to us. You don't know what those feathers mean to us. You assume, and that's what makes you dangerous right now. Because, and you've said it, Hannah, your exact words is, I'm going to keep doing it because I don't agree with what you say. Well, Hannah, you're not a part of our societies, our communities, our families.
That's what we disagree on.
You're not, Hannah.
So when I make the call to my cousin,
That doesn't mean anything. You've still got to do the work to find out for certain. You can't
Hannah?
just, okay,
Hannah?
basically this, so we can run and go do the, no, Hannah.
But you just said I haven't done the work. So if I do the work, I'm
You're not
a-
going to get it in a phone call, Hannah.
Forget your cousin for a minute. Okay,
Yeah.
forget your cousin for a minute because you can leave that for a week. Tell you what, leave that for a week, then contact your cousin and we'll talk. Okay, we're going to leave your cousin out of it. We're going to go back to Josh. You're setting up your own stage. You're going to have a Josh Groban concert without Josh. And without meaning to, you would be making a complete farce, a complete mockery of him, and he gets upset about it. Then what do? Do you keep doing it and say, well, we're going to agree to disagree? Or are you going to just, because Josh says no. Josh says, look, this is not okay. Josh says no. All right. You got about
Hold on 1 second. Shay, I'm going to drop you for just a moment because I have somebody.
Can I just say one thing? I've been wanting to say with it. Hannah, with the whole Josh thing?
No, Star, come back.
Star, I'll be 2 seconds. So what you were doing, and you're saying, like, I wouldn't go up there if I wasn't invited, and we're giving the example that, like, you're putting on your own thing. You're bootlegging. Does that make more sense?
I don't remember. Remind me what bootlegging is.
A fake dupe.
Oh, like pretend to be
Like
something-
knockoffs.
or-
Like
oh,
knockoffs.
Yeah.
That's what you are doing when you buy from Hobby Lobby and Target. You're getting dupes. You're getting fakes. You're getting bootleg. You are not actually appreciating any authentic thing. You hired someone off wish.com to perform the concert. That's what you are doing.
So, but I don't see that as a bad thing. I mean, it's not as
But
good
it
as the
is,
real thing.
Hannah.
But it
I know you don't think
is.
it is, but we're trying to tell
All right,
you.
I'll drop.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Shay. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming up. I do. All right. Hold on 1 second here.
How about copyright? Hannah, do you understand copyright? Like, Wish versus Chase Groban isn't good because he has copyright.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh.
point. Okay.
Mods, watch the live, please. I'll be right back. I'm going to leave them in charge. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, there's that, which I guess I'm learning about some of Native American culture. It sounds like there are some laws, which I'm like, well, I'm like, if I, oh, it's complicated because I'm like,
It is complicated. There's quite a few laws, and that's just another reason to pull back and not do it anymore because you have so much learning to do. And I think if you just say, okay, you know what, there's actually a lot of information that I've been through today, and I need to process that. I know it's going to take time, but just for now, back off and don't do the cosplay because it's learning time. It's copyright, respect for copyright here, and it's respect for the laws that protect us as Indigenous people. That's where you're at right now, and it's not an agree-disagree thing because there's copyright laws covering this stuff.
oh, so then that's why I'm like, well, then I can make my own regalia. I can
No.
make my own dresses.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's
One
like.
second.
because
Hold
that's
on,
like
I'm gonna jump in here.
general.
I'm going to jump in here real quick because I want to. Henna, you don't know me. I'm Chula. I go by Tammy or by Chula. We've never met. We've never talked. But there's a couple of things I want to ask you. One, are your ancestors important to you, the people who came before you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They're very important to us. And the reason why this bothers us so much is because have you ever heard of the Long Walk or the Trail of Tears?
Part of the Trail of Tears, yes.
Okay, so you know that over 2,000 or more Native people died on that cold walk out to Oklahoma Territory and died along the way. They were put in pens and treated like cattle, given pox-infested blankets and dirty, wormy water, and killed on the way out there. We lost many of our elders and our people and our stories and our culture and our heritage on that walk. And for every time you put on a costume and you act native and you dance and you run around and do the things that you do to us, you're mocking our ancestors who died and sacrificed on those trails.
Okay, so that's what I was talking about earlier. That's why I said, like, okay, so how is it everything I do only triggers pain and everything that's dark? Why not the good side? Why is it always the bad? I don't get that.
Because that's all our people know is the bad, because that's all we've ever had. We do have good things, but those are our things. Those are things that you learn as you grow, as you learn who you are. If you're going to trace your ancestry, you need to have that paper trail. I have been doing ancestry for 28 years. And that paper trail is important to find out who you are. If you don't have a paper trail and a connection, then you don't have it. Yeah. So, you know, the thing is I understand that there are things that you don't know, but our ancestors are very important to us, and the people who came before us are very important to us. And it doesn't matter what tribe you are, all 500, all 700, it doesn't matter. That's the suffering that they endured, the things that they went through. We carry that today, all of it, every single one of us. So when we honor our ancestors by the dances that we do, by the songs that we sing, by the regalia that we wear. Our names are earned in the deeds that we do, everything. And then you put that on, and it's a slap in the face to not only us, but to our ancestors.
How do I pin a comment? Does
I don't
anybody
think you
know
do that anymore?
Huh?
I don't think you could tap on the comment and hold it, and it would pop up.
I have
As-
thought.
As far as appreciating the culture, there are beautiful things about our people. Star has beautiful things about her people. Thunder has beautiful things about her people. Jay has beautiful things about his people. But those are things that we honor. And if we want you to be a part of that, we invite you to be a part of that. It's not something that we just give out to everybody, because people have come along and they have made money off of those things and taken away from our people.
I have a thought, if I may. Hannah, the question is, why is your cosplay only triggering trauma and your cosplay is not triggering anything positive? Is that what you're really asking?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I was thinking about how to answer that. We have spent a lifetime, many lifetimes, people playing cowboys and Indians, people dress up as us, again, dehumanization. When I'm older than you, when we were young, it was cowboys and Indians, and the cowboys always won. Nobody wanted to be the Indians, right? Because, and like there were all those negative stereotypes, and what you're doing is along the same vein in the dehumanization, and it's not actually celebrating. You are taking a stereotype of what you think of Indigenous culture, and you're saying, oh, I love Indigenous culture, but it's functionally the exact same as playing cowboys and Indians. You're not, it triggers the trauma because it's doing literally the same thing as the trauma. It's not celebrating who we are. It's a disconnect between your cosplay and who we are as people. There's that dehumanization I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand that part, I guess. Is it if I did a different dress? If I did different,
not at all. Nope.
If I came to you and you made some jewelry.
You know what? If you came to me and you bought some jewelry, you could wear it, but you can't use it to cosplay. And
I'm going to read
and
something. Hold on a second.
religious to do it like that.
Hold on a second.
Yep.
I asked Barn Mom to retype this comment in all caps, and if my mods know how to pin it, please do. But I'm going to read it to you, Hannah. Barn Mom said this to you: if you want to celebrate Indigenous, uplift their voices.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that before.
Okay.
You make it. You share it.
You that.
You don't make it. I make it. You share it. You don't make it. Does that sound simpler?
It does. But that's where I'm like, wait.
If it's okay, let me hop in here. So I want to talk about the reconnecting, because that's how that's where I'm in my point of coming home. So I've always known, not just family lore, that I'm Indigenous. My grandfather is an enrolled member, he passed away in 2014. And I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself, Hannah. My name is Thunder, and I am Pawnee, Muskogee, and Cherokee. And when I get to the end of my membership, I will be a citizen of the Muskogee Nation. And I say citizen because part of reconnecting and the difference between like membership and citizenship. Membership is something you pay for. You go to the gym, you get a membership. You pay to be there, to have access, to use the equipment. To be a citizen, I have rights to what goes on in my community. I have access to culture, to knowledge, to history, to what's going on and how I can contribute to the future. Have you heard of the 7 generations?
I think so.
So it is like a thinking that I'm thinking of this next 7 generations. So my actions contribute to what will happen in the future for 7 generations.
Hold that thought a second, Thunder. I need y'all please to tap and protect the live and share it, please.
So when I was reconnecting, officially. When I mean that, I'm digging into paperwork, censuses, where people have their names, where they live, what race they are, how old they are, their income. Those are things you're going to want to look at when you're reconnecting. That's when we're talking about paper trail and enrollment numbers. We are branded in a way with numbers. My aunt has her in her BIC card, it has her enrollment number, like a social security for being an Indian, pretty much. So reconnecting is not just, look at me, I'm an Indian, I can braid my hair and I have these earrings and I can wear feathers. And for one, not all of us wear feathers. It's much deeper. It is digging into the Trail of Tears. It is digging into residential schools, which I have family that have been in residential schools, which are there in the United States. There are boarding schools, Indian boarding schools. My grandfather was at the Pawnee Indian boarding school. His mother and father were at the Pawnee Indian boarding school. And Mama Bear can clarify this, because her and Tammy have both sat with me for hours and gone through all my ancestry. They have helped me for the last 4 years on this. I'm very close with them. These two women have the same respect as my own biological, sorry, there's a cat, the same respect I give to my mother and my grandmother. That's how close I am with them. That these are my mothers. These are my aunties. These are my grandmothers. If I'm in trouble, which I have been, these are the people I go to, because these are my family. They may not be family by blood, but they're family by community. So what I'm trying to express is that we are somebody you want to have in your corner. If you are Indigenous, if you are having that Indigenous paper trail, that these people can help you. Everybody here can help you. And reconnecting,
I've always wanted to know.
reconnecting is a hyper emotional journey. It's not cosplay. It's a sad thing. There's a lot of happy things about coming home and reconnecting, but there's a lot of trauma. I cannot tell you how much I have cried learning the history that my grandfather would not tell me. He wouldn't tell me. And my grandfather gave me my name. Sorry. I'm telling you, it's emotional. So when we sing that we're hurt, it's not just a word. We, in our souls, in our spirit, in our being, when we see you putting on these costumes that are made with cheap child labor overseas, it hurts. It's making us into a cartoon, into a caricature, because you can take that costume off and you're Hannah again. I can't take the skin off. I'm an Afro-Indigenous person. I can't take this face off. Sorry. I am Thunder all day long. I am Muskogee, Pawnee, Cherokee all day long. I am Black every day. I have to be in white spaces that are not always kind. And in the way that I look, I get to be in white spaces and hear how they truly feel sometimes about people of color. And I have to use that to my advantage. And when I say that to advantage, I've had people lose their job for things that they thought they were comfortable with saying to me because they thought I was white. And I have no shame in that. So it is a cross to bear, a burden to carry, but also a blessing to find out who you are. And I may not agree with a lot of things that you stand for or what you believe and how you feel, but I can relate because I was you another life. I did not want, my phone's dying. I did not want to be an Indian. I did not want people to see my blackness, my black features, my curly, kinky hair, my somewhat wide nose, or that I get pretty tan. I didn't want people to see that.
You're not an Indian. You're native, though.
Yes, I'm native. I didn't want people to tell because I understood from living the experience that I have when I was a little girl that being brown and how I was treated, I was called the N word multiple times as a child, 10, 11 years old. I broke a boy's nose for calling me a dirty N word. And I'm the one that got suspended, not him. So I understand how white privilege works because I've been in white spaces, and there's going to be a lot of growing that you have to do. And a lot of it, 99% of it is going to have to be off the internet because it's going to have to be personal growth. Because I get that everybody on TikTok, we all want attention. We all want to post videos and people to see, and it feels good to have likes, or even some people who like the bad attention, who like the negative comments. I know everybody, a lot of people on TikTok, that's okay for them too. Attention's attention at the end of the day. But I'm saying is that if you truly and genuinely want to go on this decolonization journey, this reconnecting journey to whatever culture, it's going to end up most of it being off the internet. It's going to be personal. So that's why I wanted to say, I hope you learn from that and think about that, please.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thunder.
Well, I kind of need to go. It's 11:05. I'm past my time. But if you want to leave some comments, or I don't know if there'll be a next time, maybe that we can.
Well, we need to schedule the next time because you were willing to do this, and you see, we're willing to share. We're willing to talk with you, but you can't block us. You can't tell us I'm gonna do what I want to do, and expect that respect. You don't understand, Hannah. We're a loving, caring, kind people. And if you truly are Native, we can help you find that.
Well, thank you.
But you can't keep harming us and expect us to want to help. That's for any community, any marginalized community, Hannah. Be it Black, be it Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Indian, Asian, Japanese, Black, African, Caribbean, Southern Indigenous, Northern Indigenous, any of it, you can't. And that's what you've been doing. And this is why you've been getting the negativity that you've been getting. You can't continue to do this and expect us to want to welcome you and help you and teach you and educate you with open arms.
From your perspective, I do see where you're coming from, for sure. Yeah. But I think at least there's some things maybe we agree on, and there might still be some things we disagree on. But I have a lot to think about, and
There's,
you know, it's been good though.
hold on before you go. Hold on. Thunder, I'm going to drop you for just a second, okay? Thank you, sister. One of the most intelligent women I know, one of the most brilliant, hardcore women I know, one of the most beautiful women I know.
That, Mama.
And I just invited her up. Oi, sister.
Greetings. My commentary really is not directed towards Hannah. It's directed to everyone else. I can't. I'm assuming you brought me up here because I kept saying no and why in the comment section. I'm asking, and everyone's gonna hate me for this. I'm trying to figure out why even bother. That's my question. Why?
Why bother?
Why bother? Why do we need anyone to fucking understand what we're saying? Why do we need anyone to conform or to relate to or to know? You said something just now like we're really good, nice, sweet people. We don't need to prove that to no fucking body. Mm-hmm. My question is why? This is one individual, one person, and there's a million of them out there that are going to do whatever they want to do. And my question is why? Why do we give a fuck? That's just my question. That's all I ask.
Because we're not them.
Okay.
We're not them.
I understand that we're never going to be. But so why are we trying to rationalize with them?
Not trying. I wouldn't say it's trying to rationalize, but I think if we have an opportunity to actually educate.
For what?
And, well, let me finish. If we have an opportunity to educate and, you can't lead a horse to water, or you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But what I'm seeing with Hannah is she wants to drink, and I don't think it's to appropriate any further or to bring further harm. I think she really wants to be educated and learn and to do better. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And then...
Well, can we ask her that? Can we ask her what she wants?
That's a good question. No, I haven't. What do you want to do, Hannah?
At the end of this live, like going forward, you mean? What do I want to do?
Yeah.
I would really love to find, I feel like I've procrastinated for so long. I really want to find, if I am truly Native American, what are my roots? Who is my tribe? Who is my family? There's so much to learn. I think it's because this goes down to when I was a little girl.
Okay, but hold on. That's really not the question I was asking.
Well, yeah, she's probably trying to get there. Hold on one second, Mama Bird.
All right.
So what I still want to do the learning that I haven't done yet, to connect. I would love to, I guess that's why I've tried to find, is there better ways? And I know we disagree, and maybe I have some new thoughts, I don't know. But I love, out of all the cultures, Native American culture has always been one of my favorites, more than others. It could be African culture that's my favorite, not Native American, and I guess they would come at me or whatever. But my goal is to connect, to find my roots, and to blossom and all that.
Is there something that gives you indication that you may be Native?
Yes. I don't know if you heard this earlier, but I've been told my whole life from my mom, from my grandma, from my deceased grandpa, that I am part Native American. I don't know how much. Everyone says you can't. There's so many things. I'm like, wait, I don't know what this looks like, but I've been told. So I haven't dug. I haven't done all the research that needs to be done. So I've grown up with that. So I'm like, okay, I've been told this. So where is it? I just need to do the work.
Let me ask you this. All these Native women and all the Native creators you've seen on this app, do you see them going around dressing up like Pocahontas?
No, not Pocahontas.
I'm using that as just an example. Do you see them going around on the app with, the garments in all their Native attire?
I see them in their indigenous attire, living their lives, doing their things.
Do you really see it that very often?
I don't. That's a good question. It depends on what I search up or what I've been tagged in, or maybe half and half. I'm not really sure what the ratio is, but I've seen. I mean, I say there's my white people clothes. I see indigenous women wearing normal American, European, I don't know, Americanized clothes or whatever. But the actual regalia, maybe I've seen more of Americanized white clothes, probably. If that makes sense. Does that answer your question?
I
Yeah,
mean, you see us wearing
it
clothes.
it answers it perfectly. So my thing is, it's interesting when you see people appropriate, right? And dress up in regalia or appropriate in other ways that you don't even see indigenous Americans do, right? You don't see a problem there. You only really see them do that at events, powwows, when they're having ceremonies. You don't even see Native Americans doing what appropriators are doing.
I'm a little confused. Meaning, like, actual, like.
Am I making sense, the panel? I just want to make sure I'm making sense. Okay.
I might be missing something.
Yeah, you're making perfect sense, Cuban.
I might be misunderstanding. I'm sorry.
So I understanding being told that you're a part, whatever, or that you have that in your family. But before coming to Cuban's internet, because it ain't Beyonce's no more. Before coming to Cuban's internet, it's a joke. Anyways, before coming to the internet, did you try to like go find out where those roots are, or you just came here and decided to be native and do appropriating things?
I've been doing this ever since I can remember. Way before I came to TikTok, way before I came to Facebook. Like, because the rendezvous things that I've made a video about, like, we reenacted history. We dressed in, I'm pretty sure, a lot of authentic, not just, the mock-up.
So okay, let me ask you this then. Someone's got some really bad feedback. I don't know who it is, but did your family do the same thing? Your native family?
Yes. For some years. And then it wore off I'm the only one, honestly, that I think has carried this on. The rest stopped for whatever reason.
So who in your family is native?
So like full native? So like my brothers and sisters and I, my parents, the Native American comes from my mom's side, not my dad's. My dad is like all German. So that would be from my deceased grandpa, my mom's side of the family. So that's where I'm like, I don't know my roots. I don't know how much. And everyone says, no, you can't go by this. You have to do this. And then like, no, I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do then? So I remember like, I guess as in looks, skin tone, I don't know, I can't really go off of that, but I would say full-blooded Native Americans came, this is the only time I've seen them in my life, and we were all like, because we never met them before, we're like, this is what we've been talking about, these are our relatives, these are our family somehow, at my deceased great-grandmother's funeral. And so I think that brought about like, well, I don't know, I don't think other siblings...
You don't know your roots, and you don't even know the culture if you don't know your roots. And so where are you coming up with how natives should be when you're appropriating?
Oh, well, and like Mama Bird said, there is some I've gotten off of movies. Last of the Mohicans is a favorite of mine. Is it politically correct or accurate? It's an old movie and there's variations of it. Probably not completely, but maybe to some extent. TikToks that I've seen, books that I've read or looked at, libraries, pretty much bits and pieces throughout the years, I guess.
So you never bothered to try to find so all natives are not a monolith, right? They don't all dress the same. They don't all practice the same. They don't all speak the same. So you just taking bits and pieces from movies and creating your own version of native?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yikes.
Wait,
wow.
Why is that a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing?
Because that's appropriate.
Hannah.
You're appropriating.
Movies are not based off of actual native people. All those movies were based off of white people's perspective. Those are not our actual traditions, and
you can't wait, hold up real quick. You can't argue that, Hannah, because you don't know any real natives. You heard a story that you might be native. You can't argue with an indigenous woman about what is appropriated, even in the movies, and you're not native.
Well, that's where we disagree. Of like,
No.
I don't know how much.
No, Hannah. No, you're crossing a line there. You're crossing a line. Again, you don't get to disagree on that because it's not a part of you.
You can't. That's like
Hear her. Listen and hear.
that's all I'm. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mary.
Hi, Hannah. I apologize. I'm losing my voice. I caught a virus. But I'm here because my mother was born and raised in Germany. And I would very much like to help you connect to your German culture. If you want, I would even be willing to go on Zoom with you and touch base with you and teach you some of the things that I knew. I grew up here in America, but my mother is well connected to German culture, and I have a lot of resources. I just want to point out a couple things. First of all, I want you to know it's actually really normal to feel ashamed or uninterested in your German culture.
Oh, I'm not. Love it.
Well, so if we are avoiding our German, we know that there's a source of discrimination against German people here in America, even before the Holocaust. And for this reason, a lot of people who have German ancestry, they avoid learning about their culture. And this may also be why your parents and grandparents did not teach you. And that's nothing to be ashamed about. A lot of people with European ancestry don't know their culture. A lot of people are reconnecting. They come and they see me even. But one thing I want to tell you is when I look at your face, I can tell where in Germany your family is from. And when I learned that, yes, I can. Your family is from the north of Germany. And when I heard your name was Lesser, your name comes from the root lesser, which is from the north of Germany as well.
What about
And
that?
we as Germans, what about what?
Sorry. I was going to say, like, well, I'm actually, well, that's my married name, but I have a maiden name that's Becker. That's more, we can get into that another time.
Becker as well. And the thing is, Anna, is that your culture is so incredibly rich. I have so many books here that I could tell you about. And one thing you should know, okay, is that the Germans who came here, probably around the time your family did, were very friendly, okay? And they had to be because it was that or fight. And a lot of times, even though there were Germans who were very violent towards Native people, there were also Germans who more or less were not, right? We know that some Native people married German people as well. But because when they went out into the West, we're not going to talk about how that's problematic, but when they went out, they depended on Native people for survival in many ways. This is not unique to Germans. And it's because of that proximity and because of where they are from that they often refer to those people as their family. And even now, in my generation, I'm a first generation American, my family still refers to friends and neighbors as our family. This is very characteristic of certain German groups. And this may be the origin of the story of why your family perceives themselves to be Native or part of Native tribes, because they didn't have a choice but to mix and mingle for their own survival. And in many ways, German people were claiming Natives, right? As kinship relations, we say we claim you, right? And maybe Natives claim them back, but this would explain the proximity and claiming one another without the DNA or without the paperwork that proves the lineage. It's because of that proximity. And there are so many people with these stories. Cherokee Mean Girl talks about how this happens a lot. This is why people say, like, I have a Cherokee princess grandma. This book right here, this is called Distorted Descent by Daryl LaRue. And it talks about all these people with these stories who may have had a third cousin, or whose brother may have married a Native woman, or, you know, they found a Native girl and they took her into the family. And then the lore begins where they're saying that they are Native. And this is no shame to you if you were told this story and your family brought you up believing this thing. This is not your shame to bear. It's just that you have a very beautiful, rich heritage as a German American. And there's so many interesting things that you can connect to. And when you do that, you will feel an authentic sense of yourself. You will feel connected to your ancestors. And that feels way better than all the negative things. I've seen some of the mean things that people say to you. And, you know, especially as someone who has a German mother, I look at your face and I think of that. And I think of all the awful things that people have said to our ancestors in the past. You don't need that in your life, right? You know, you have the stresses of a mom. And I'm going to tell you something else. People love German content because German identity is one of the largest ethnic groups here in America for Europeans. People love it. And if you decide to start learning about your German culture, people are going to come and see what you're learning too, because they're also going to learn alongside you. And many of them are also very embarrassed and ashamed that they don't know anything about their background. And they're going to look to you and they're going to feel inspired by your journey and turning things around as well. So, you know, it's just some food for thought. And I want you to know you can reach out to me. I'd be happy to tell you. I know all the weird things, all the fun things. You know, we bake bread and cookies. And the other part of being German now in 2024 is we have these groups of freaky people over in Germany who put on these whole play performances pretending to be Native American. And it's so offensive that Native people have left America to go to Germany to try to teach the Germans how to be respectful towards German people, Native people. They crossed the ocean to go talk to them about it because they saw what they were doing and they were promoting stereotypes and they were telling stories about history that were not true and were harmful. And, you know, they said to Germans, you have such a great history. Did you know Germans have tribes? We have tribes. We do. We have tribes. And you're a lesser, you're a Becker, right? And we have unique things about our tribes, right? And we're even divided by North and South. And so this is what natives told German people. You don't need to do this. You have your own rich, beautiful culture. And in 2024, our job as German Americans is to be friends to Native people. Now, I'm mixed because my family was too much friends with Native people. But as German Americans, we can be powerful allies in influencing other German Americans as well. And allyship and learning about Indigenous issues is one way also to connect to Native culture in a very positive way, while also learning. And I know you said like Native regalia is very difficult to make, very expensive to buy. German stuff is not, by the way, because there's so many of us. And, you know, in many ways, it's quite normalized. And you probably already have some of the skills to know about how to wear like German costume, which, by the way, it goes by region. Okay, so there's not just one German. Your family has its own unique heritage to your region with its own unique costume. And when other Germans see it, they see you and they know where you're from. And they will probably even know where your last name is, okay? And these are things that you can easily connect to. So when I ask you, Hannah, do you know how to wear an apron? You already know. You already know how to put it on. You already know how to tie it nice, right? Because this is your culture. You already know, you already have the building blocks. So, you know, I just wanted to invite you. I do have Native heritage. I'm just a reconnecting person. And I can even talk to you about like how to support Native people in a non-offensive way, ways that are not going to end up in like, 2 hours of discourse or whichever. And you can ask me questions as well. The Native people here, they've said that they're so much willing to help you, but all they're asking is that you stop dressing like them and other cultures. And in return, I would be very happy to teach you how to dress like a German. And I'll tell you what too, of all the costumes in all of Germany, all the different kinds, you will probably never run out. And not a single German is going to come to you and say, no, Hannah, this is my culture, this is my region, this is my family. They're not going to do it, because one of the great parts about German culture is that because German people are power holders, it's an open culture. You can't do it wrong. It's for you. So nobody's going to yell at you if you don't get it exactly right, or if it's not exactly specific to your region, because it's for everybody. You can't harm German people because they're power holders, and so if making mistakes is something that, concerns you, you don't have to worry about that either. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm the German lady.
Thank you. I appreciate your
Feel free to add me later. It's quite late. It's 12:30 where I live.
Let me quick give you a follow. Hold on. Okay. Okay.
Mary, thank you for this. I appreciate you. Reese,
But I need to go.
hang on, Chris. Hang on, Chris. One sec.
I need to check on my baby. I don't know what's all going on. It's been a while.
Go ahead, go check on your baby.
Just real quick, because I do need to go.
I got time. Go check on your baby.
Why don't you go check on the baby and then come back?
I say let her go and we could discuss. I'm gonna go myself because I ain't got shit nice to say, and I think this was just a waste of time, in my opinion.
And that's all right. You're entitled to your opinion. We all are. And I mean, I think there's some stuff that we agree on and stuff we don't, unfortunately, but that's life. But I appreciate your time.
Hold on 1 second, because Cuban may not say it, and I know Mama Bird don't let me in the box for no reason. But at the end of the day, it does, your opinion right now, you saying like, hey, everybody gets to have an opinion. You don't, because it's not your culture, baby. So how exactly do you get to have an opinion? I don't get that. How do you get, I don't,
because we're all individual people. We live in a somewhat free country.
Okay, so you as an listen, people were slaughtered for this. You do realize that, right? People have lost their lives, and you're dressing up in a fucking costume. You're dressing up in a fucking costume like somebody's culture is your fucking Halloween costume. Is that what you're telling me? You're okay with that?
I don't treat it like that, but I understand.
That's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. Now, see, everybody else up here is going to be nice to you. I don't have fucking time today. I don't. Because I get real tired of people like you coming up here thinking that you can wear us as fucking costumes. I mean, it's really ridiculous. Your fucking privilege is showing, baby. It's showing. It's written all over your fucking face. It is. Wow, the silence is deafening. That's
well,
cool.
You're yelling at me, so I had to turn my phone down because I've got sleeping people in the house. So
I'm really sad for you. I'm really sad for you. You have sleeping people, but I just want you to know that those people are sleeping soundly, and there are a lot of people who are no longer here because they're taking dirt naps.
Today. No, this isn't even in the past. This is currently not here.
Unfortunately, that has been true throughout all of history for every culture, for every ethnicity.
Wow, that's crazy. You deflective.
This is why. Hold on. This is why.
Why are we still talking about
why?
She's uneducated. She's not trying to be educated. She's willfully ignorant and intentionally fucking obtuse. She is not trying to be educated at all. She wants to continue to wear you as a costume.
That's why I came up here.
And like I said, I have thoughts.
She's playing in your face. I don't want to hear your fucking thoughts. Shut up. I don't want to hear your thoughts. I'm talking to Mama Bird. Mama Bird, I love you. You know I do. You know I would never disrupt your panel. Drop this bitch. Drop her. Do not allow her to continue to cause harm to the community.
Do you hear it, Hannah? Do you hear it?
No, that's why I came up here asking the same thing. Why the fuck are we doing this? For what?
Do you hear it, Hannah?
Maybe find some common grounds at the end of the day.
There ain't no common ground. Racism.
Drop. Somebody block her. Do I have my powers here?
Hannah. I've been nice about it.
Thank you.
And now you're getting it. You're getting it thrown at you, telling you the truth. You don't get an opinion on what's not yours. You don't get to use this as your cosplay. You don't get to use this as your costume. You're bringing harm to our people that you claim you love and respect. And you still want to debate and argue and justify why you feel you can't. No. I have been more than kind.
And thank
I've
you.
been more than respectful.
I have too. We both
And
have.
at the end of this,
And you're being hella microaggressive right now. Like, oh my God.
You're wanting justification, and you want us to give you justification and understanding and grace to continue to do it.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Thank you.
I had to do it.
Trying to give Mama Bird
I had to do it.